Pentair IntelliChlor ic40 chlorine generator. All of the lights in the sanitizer output, the bottom group of lights, are all green. I push the less and more buttons, but nothing happens. The salt level is green, the cell is green. What might be the problem? Pushing the less or more buttons, nothing will happen.
So this isn't necessarily a question of whether the cell is operating or not, because we didn't mention flow. There's not a flow light on or off. You're simply looking at the 0% to 100% buttons not working properly. That's likely faulty inside the unit itself. It doesn't mean that the system's not working. It doesn't mean that it's not generating chlorine. It may just mean that there's two little buttons and those up and down arrows. You could have faulty contacts inside of those. What I would try to do, kind of a good diagnosis thing, would be hold both of them down and hold them down for 5, 6, 7, 10 seconds and see if it sets that chain of what should happen when you do that is the light should flicker across. They should light up in a line over and over and over, and what that's doing is that's telling the system to do a 24-hour 100% charge of chlorine. And if that happens, then that tells you there's nothing wrong with the buttons themselves and it's in the programming, but likely you just have an issue in the unit itself. And whether it's generating chlorine or not, I'm not really sure. I mean, could be a follow-up question, because there's also a flow light there that should turn green from red if in fact the system is working. So if you've got all the other lights on, it may just be a function of the unit itself. The other thing that you could probably try is to shut everything off and then turn everything back on, repower the whole system, and see if that makes a difference.
Is there ever a case where the panel of buttons on the salt cell would not be in charge?
There shouldn't be.
If you're hooked up to an Easy Touch?
Easy Touch or not, you should be able to play with those buttons, although the Easy Touch panel should be in charge, telling it to actually produce chlorine, but it doesn't mean that those buttons wouldn't necessarily work. Although that may have changed. Maybe in those earlier systems when we weren't using all the automation that we now use.